My name is Brian Mayo. I'm the executive director of the Oregon State Pharmacy Association, and there's a variety of things that I could talk about, but I think the best thing to do is probably give you a brief overview of our legislative session, and then also talk about what the pharmacy closures with Rite Aid mean, and what that means for independent pharmacies and for patient access, and things that we're facing. So. This past year, to let you guys know, the biggest concern with pharmacies, whether you're independent chain or grocers, is pharmacy benefit managers, known as PBMs. So it's been a problem for years, both at the federal and the state level. Oregon currently, prior to the Rite Aid closures, was 49th in the country for pharmacy access. So one of the problems that for why we don't have enough pharmacy access is because of the pharmacy benefit managers and all the pharmacies that are putting out of business. So the only state that was behind us, I guess, would be Alaska. And now with Rite Aid closing, we're number 50, unfortunately. So there's reasons why Alaska makes sense that they would have so much problem with pharmacy access for the patients, but Oregon shouldn't be at this point and having patients needing access to medications and not being able to get it in a timely manner. But this last legislative session, we had a PBM bill that we were trying to get passed that basically was seven pillars of what our wish list was to rein in PBMs. Are you guys able to hear me okay? I see little note here popped up.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, cool. Um, so we had been working since last June of 2024 to put together this bill that Rob knows from the House Healthcare Committee was the champion on. And so last summer he put together six meetings that were 3 hour each in the basement of a government building in Salem, where we got together with the insurance companies and the PBMs and talked about all the challenges and things that we have with the way the reimbursement structure is in Oregon, and the low reimbursement rates are putting pharmacies out of business. And we had a group of volunteers. So I'm the only staff person for OSPA. We have a contract lobbyist, and then there's a board of directors that is the structure of OSPA, and we had independent pharmacists from a variety of different areas come to those meetings and be able to share information about what was going on with their pharmacies and look at the data that the PBMs were saying, um, give, giving their side of things, and basically those meetings put together our bill for this year. So we got to the bill, had it written, everything was how we wanted it to be. And then we came to the legislative session, and Chair Nose said we had our first hearing in February. Um, and he said, we want you guys to go away for another 5 or 6 weeks, and your side and your side go ahead and negotiate with each other and come back with a bill that we can go ahead and get passed. So they sent us away. It was me, our lobbyists, our legislative chair, and then some people from NACDS, which is the national chain folks that were participating in these meetings. And then on the other side, it was a bunch of insurance lobbyists and PBM lobbyists and CCO lobbyists and the League of Oregon Cities and all sorts of folks that were uh, against our bill because of the reimbursement rates. They said that the premiums would go up for patients, and that the insurance companies couldn't pa take down spread pricing, which is basically the, the PBM determines what the price is of the drug. They determine how much they're going to give to the pharmacy, and they also tell the insurance company how much they charge the pharmacy, and then they keep that difference. So one of our um, items in the bill was to eliminate spread pricing, which we thought would be beneficial to the insurance companies, but they didn't like that because they hire the PBMs, and the PBMs are, in their words, partners, even though they seem to be taking money from them and also causing the reason that premiums are so high. So a lot of things we went through like 4 or 5 weeks with these meetings, and then everything fell apart with their negotiations. They wanted to offer us it's called MAC pricing, which is a price that the PBMs determine is the amount of the drug instead of the actual amount that the pharmacies are paying. They make up this MAC amount, and then they wanted to give a dispensing fee of 50 cents to the pharmacies. And they thought that was going to be a very generous offer, and they only wanted it for critical access pharmacies that they could go ahead and determine. So basically, we said your offer's not worth even considering. We turned this down, and we want to move forward with what our legislative process is. We found out that there is a non-delegation clause in the Oregon Constitution that made our pricing structure. It's called NADAC. It's a national average as opposed to MAC, but it's a third party that puts it together and um, allows a fair and transparent pricing model that other states have implemented. We wanted to use this NADAC model and found out that the Oregon Constitution would be that they wouldn't allow it. So basically, that got taken out. The spread pricing got taken out, and there was one other element. So we had these four different pillars that all had to do with fair business practices. And when it came down to it, Chair Nose no longer was supportive of the bill and actually became more harm than he was good. Uh, and our bill got sent to the Rules Committee, and then Speaker Fahey didn't want to move forward because she was scared that it was going to raise prices for patients, even though we had taken out all of the reimbursement aspects of this bill, and it was only focused on um, the the fair business practices. So with that, that puts pharmacies, especially independent pharmacies, in a very tough situation right now. A lot of them have been waiting for this bill to pass so that they could stop the bleeding and be able to have better business operations and account for things. So it's we already have the worst access in the country, and now it's could possibly uh, continue to get worse. So um, right now, we're in the process of looking to 2026 and what that means for a bill. It sounds like out of the healthcare committee, Hi Fam and Emily McIntyre want to do a work group that's going to focus on fixing the CCO piece, which would be helpful. But that's also going to take some time to get legislation done. We think that that is something that could be possible because they're going into election year, and that would be a good thing for them to hang their hats on as a win that's going to save the state millions of dollars. Um, and we have two independent pharmacists. Well, actually, I guess one's not a pharmacist. Anyways, High School Pharmacy and Cascadia Pharmacy Group, which has the CEO and current president of the National Community Pharmacists Association, are going to be meeting with Hi Fam and Emily McIntyre and the working with us on that work group. That's basically what we did last summer as well. So um, we're hopeful that something can come out of this. But one of the other challenges that failed to go forward this year was the corporate activities tax, or the CAT tax. Pharmacies of that had 9 or fewer similar ownerships, which would basically be all your independent pharmacies, had a exemption from paying the CAT tax for the past 4 or 5 years, and we had a bill to um, extend that permanently because the sunset was coming up at January 1 of 2026. So it was in one of the financial um, committees at the beginning of June and ended up the committee just never ended up meeting again the rest of the session because of everything that was going on with the transportation bill and that fiasco. So uh, unfortunately, that's
Oops.
going to make things a little bit more difficult for
Yes,
pharmacies as well.
Hey, Brian, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can. Yeah.
could you just define CCO and CAT for the members of the group that don't know what I know what they are, but like the corporate activity tax and CCOs just real briefly, so they know what that is.
Yeah, my apologies. There's so many acronyms that go into pharmacy that sometimes I skip over them. But the corporate activities tax is a tax on the gross sales for businesses over I want to say $1 million. I don't remember what the amount is, but basically all pharmacies have to pay a corporate activities tax, and even up to Nike, they have to pay a corporate activities tax and those types of things. So any business operating in Oregon has a corporate activities tax, and I think the money from it is supposed to go towards schools. And for the past 4 or 5 years, pharmacies haven't had to do that because um, the way that it works is that the distributor and the wholesaler pass along their corporate activities tax down to the pharmacy. So the pharmacy is already paying it because that's how things can work. But the pharmacy can't pass along that payment or um, that charge to the patients because it's illegal. So essentially, pharmacies are getting the corporate activities tax twice. So that's what the challenge has been because they've already been paying it.
Yeah, and we
And
can't
then
raise, yeah, we can't raise the prices
uh,
to cover those expenses of the tax.
exactly, uh, Linda, I see your hand up, but let me and then the CCOs. There's 16 of them in Oregon. In other states, it's better known as the MCOs, but they're the coordinated
Here.
uh,
Coordinated
coordinated
care.
care organization. Yeah, coordinated care organizations. So yeah, yeah, Linda.
Can you say a little bit more about the um, whatever is in the Constitution that wouldn't allow part of the bill to go forward, the pharmacy bill?
Yeah, it's called a non-delegation clause, and I'm surprised that our bill got so far in the process without the legislative council mentioning anything about it. But basically, it's Oregon cannot refer to a third party entity for a pricing structure or something along those lines. So this NADAC system that we have that's the national average of drug acquisition cost, NADAC, NADAC, um, is gets updated weekly, and it's what the price is that pharmacies are buying the drugs for. Um, and for every other state, they can go ahead and reference this number when they're uh, trying to figure out what the cost of the drug is on a on an average, as opposed to being the actual cost that the pharmacy is paying. Um, so with the Oregon Constitution, this third party elements apparently cannot be referenced. But they said that the PBMs and their MAC prices could still be used. But we don't want MAC at all because the MAC price is made up by the PBMs, and they vary the amount of what they say a drug is based on the day and what works best for their formulas. And it's non-transparent.
So we can't use a third party like index for anything?
That's what we were told. Yes.
Hmm. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Um, so it was a long legislative session. It was a frustrating legislation. Um, the the independent pharmacists are currently working with the Oregon Health Authority to try and get some help. So we'll see in the next couple months if there's something that the OHA can do. But it's a frustrating process, and they're pharmacists and independent owners specifically are very kind folks that have your best interest in mind. They I've heard stories of some people who have had to close, but in trying to stay open, they want to serve their communities, so they've taken out loans, maxed out credit cards, have no retirement that's left anymore, and are doing everything they can to keep the doors open so that they can serve those in their communities. So, and a lot of the independent pharmacies that are the critical access pharmacies are the only source of a healthcare person within miles, especially in those rural and frontier areas. So, uh, I mean, I would say it's dire, and I hate to be negative about it because I wish I had positive news and could say great things about what's happening, but they're in a really tough spot. Cheryl, I see your
Yeah.
hand up.
Yeah. Am I interrupting the presentation by asking a question? Are you finished the present? Is it really time for Q&A here? Because I put in the chat that Colorado just passed something. It says that it's waiting for Polis to sign it, but I know we did sign it because I was just in Colorado, and I think people were feeling pretty good about the way they did it. And it's based on a flat fee. The PBMs would get a flat fee, and I don't know how you feel about that as a solution. I'm coming very late to the specifics, and maybe you've considered that, and I don't know, but I just thought I'd like to ask.
Yeah, so the
Thanks.
Oregon Health Authority every 3 years comes up with an amount that they feel that pharmacies should be receiving for the fee for service based on their size. So the large chains, they say that the dispensing fee should be about $9-ish for the overhead and the price of operations, those types of things. For independent pharmacies, it's closer to $15 to $16 for the dispensing fee because they don't have quite as much volume of prescriptions coming through. And that's what we wanted to reference in the way that the dispensing fee would be implemented for the bill, is that you would refer to the price of the drug for NADAC, and then the dispensing fee would be determined based on the OHA fee for service amount, and that would be what would be put into law. And that OHA amount, what goes ahead and gets updated every 3 years, and basically, that would be a fee that we don't have to change legislatively every so often. So OHA already does the process.
That sounds a little more progressive than Colorado's with a flat fee, right? I mean, because you make an effort to protect small or farms.
We were making an effort to make sure that we didn't have to go years without having it changed. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, Tom, I see your hand.
Tom would like to jump in.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that even though those numbers exist that OHA came up with, in terms of they spent a lot of time and effort trying to figure out how much it costs in overhead to fill a prescription at different venues. The PBMs completely ignore that. They're making way too much money to give that up. And they have armies of lawyers that are totally vested in protecting that margin, that profit. That has nothing to do with right and wrong. It only has to do with money for them. So that's what we're up against. Yeah.
Yeah, and the PBMs, with that they wanted to do MAC, which they determined for the price of the drug, and then they wanted to give the pharmacies 50 cents. So, 50 cents versus $15. That's why we were insulted, obviously. It's uh, it's a process that they're used to going through, and they are there's three big PBMs, and they're all in the Fortune 15, and they, bring in profits of billions and billions of dollars a year. They have offshore companies that they're hiding money at, and different things. So when we look, and so with the Prescription Drug Affordability Board, Oregon's one of 5 states, including Colorado, that has one. One of the things that I more recently have been trying to do is suggest that Prescription Drug Affordability Board makes it illegal for spread pricing to happen in Oregon. Because if they get rid of spread pricing in Oregon, that's going to save the patients money, and it's going to save the state money. So, it's not what we want to get completely fixed, but that's something that I feel could be done to help out everyone in Oregon, rather than just focusing on the 9 drugs that they have on or trying to get down to a list of 9 drugs plus 1 insulin. They just eliminate spread pricing. They're going to save a lot of money for everyone.
Mike.
Oh, Bruce said first.
Oh, okay, Bruce.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for presenting here this evening and shedding some light and clarity on the ridiculous pharmaceutical benefit managers that we have to deal with. I have a question for you about Array RX and what you might see as a benefit to pursuing that for a wider audience, and maybe even requiring CCOs to be a member of Array RX, especially for the 340B medications.
So there's a lot that goes into it, but what we probably want to go for with the work group that's coming out with HiFam and Emily McIntyre with the CCO fix would be a single PBM. So if that were to, it would have to be open to an RFP, and Array RX is in a good position to become that PBM. So I think that, I think that is a move that would be beneficial for everyone. And if Array RX gets that contract, I think that they have a lot of stuff that's already in place to make it happen.
Yeah, thank you for that response, and please feel free to lean on us to support that kind of movement legislatively in 2026.
Are you guys in favor of Array? Are you in favor of Array RX?
I am, yeah. I'm the co-chair of the legislative committee for Mid-Valley.
Okay. Yeah. So I've talked to Trevor Douglas at OHA and manages Array RX a lot. And yeah, I think that he is well positioned because it has to go out to RFP, but that would make a lot of sense for a number of reasons.
As long as it doesn't harm Tom.
Well, actually, I have a personal experience with Array RX, and we have had many people that had to leave our pharmacy because we had to not sign contracts with some of the PBMs and health insurers because we were hemorrhaging so badly. So we had to drop those plans, and we've had loyal customers that said they didn't want to go anywhere else. And so in order to come up with a price structure that we felt was fair for those cash paying customers, we have leaned heavily on the Array RX discount plan. And for me, it's been very fair. It's been fair to the pharmacy, and it's been fair to the customer.
Oh, that's a relief to know.
Yeah, it's been very positive, I think. And it also takes a lot of extra work away from the pharmacist who's trying to do that work on a case-by-case basis. And like this person, this drug, they come in and, I may not be there that day. I have staff pharmacist on. All they have to do is they sign that person up for Array RX. They run the prescription through, it comes back with something over cost, which isn't always what we get with the PBMs. And it's not cost plus 50 cents, which only covers the vial and the label, not anything inside. And the patients are generally very pleased with what, the service they get for the value, the added value of our service for that price. So far, I've been very, very happy.
Excellent.
Yeah. So,
And Mike's been waiting to get in for a while.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Brian, is there some openings through the city managers organizations which have opposed this bill because they thought the premiums would go up? And yet they're ignoring the fact that their constituents are going without medication and paying much more than they should, and pharmacies are closing. Does that make any sense to that organization?
So the League of Oregon Cities has still been an opponent of ours that we're working that we need to overcome. They basically want spread pricing still as a opportunity in the contracts because they feel that they are doing a good job negotiating to make sure that that's not taking away from their members. We made some good progress with the Chamber of Commerce in multiple locations this year, who were a opponent of ours a couple of years ago, and we, if we can continue the momentum that we made from a grassroots effort this year, we had over 25,000 emails sent in to legislators this year about our bill from patients, pharmacists, community members, all sorts of folks to express their support of our bill. And politics killed it, which sucks because we had the community supports that they're always talking about. They want to hear from their constituents, so
Yeah.
they did. Yeah.
I'm wondering if the lobbyists that we can lobby are county commissioners. If they are part of this organization that are kind of ignoring the long-term harm in trying to protect lower premiums that they think. And we go
Yeah.
after them.
Yeah. County commissioners, mayors, those types of folks are the ones that make up the League of Oregon Cities, and with some of these mayors also, they don't have a pharmacy in their town. So when we're talking about who to listen to, there's so many folks that don't have a pharmacy within 10 miles of them. And those rural communities, when you get to the winter months, it's tough to go pick up your prescription, and if you have a sick kid, good luck.
Wow.
I'm wondering if somebody could quantitate, I think of Warren George, somebody could quantitate the amount that the county commissioners and the League of Oregon Cities think they would save by having spread pricing compared to the actual cost, financial cost, let alone the physical and psychological cost of losing pharmacies. Think somebody has that kind of brain to actually come up with numbers that compare?
Well, I know that's not me. But yeah, there might be somebody that we can get to do that. The thing is that's tough is that the PBMs, they're not transparent with their numbers, so that's where a lot of the black hole is. So when they make statements and show their data, it's like, okay, show us all of your data so that we can actually know, so you can prove it. So
Yeah, we know that about CCOs also.
As well, yeah.
Same
Same
Yeah,
thing.
Same thing.
yeah.
It's
No data.
confidential information or something.
Yeah,
I forgot the phrase for it.
trade secret.
Trade secrets. Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna ask Fritz, is there anybody online that we're missing? I can't see everybody. So
Not, not seeing any hands up since Brian's been online. He's been seeing the hands coming up.
okay, that's
So he's
true.
been catching.
Brian can see it. Okay, thank you. Other questions or comments? Your explanations are really appreciated. You know, when you're on the outside looking in and you hear that there's bipartisan support for the bill 3212, it seems like a shoo-in, you know, both parties, members of both parties want it. The only thing you can come up with is somebody got paid $1 million to stop this thing in committee, you know, to hold it in committee. Hard not to go to that kind of conspiracy theory level. What you're describing is not all that dissimilar. It's still big money after big money and small money losing ground. You know, but in any case, it's nice to hear how it actually happened.
The other thing that we were, well, I was part of this fight with Brian, and we were all kind of having a lot of sleepless nights working on this and keeping our customers and the people that we knew writing letters, and we had a great turnout in Corvallis of people writing letters, taking the time. But in the end, it felt sort of like Linus and Lucy, and where Lucy pulls the ball away from Charlie Brown at the last second.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to happen every year. And what was, I think, what was relayed to me was that 3212, our bill, basically got traded. And that's something I didn't really know about, but basically it's our bill kind of was a small player and it got traded out for something that somebody else's pet project somewhere. And so we have to, you know, I think we have to stop showing up at the gunfight with knives.
Yeah.
We have to really understand the game. And, you know, I think all of us in this working group that we've been in, especially the pharmacists who spend all of our time worrying about clinical interactions and helping our patients. A lot of us learned a lot about how these guys play hardball with, you know, big time lawyers, and they find ways to they chipped away at the pillars that Brian and the committees came up with, and in the end they just said, well, that's, you know, you're out. So I think anything we can do to work at a higher level, like you guys are talking about, county commissioners, city managers, mayors, is going to be very important moving forward for the next round. Most of us independent pharmacists are just about done dusting ourselves off and getting ready to go back after it. So
good.
Yeah, I don't, you know, we don't really have a choice. You know, if we don't do it, then
Well,
the corner drugstore is going to be a thing of the past.
we have a mayor who shows up at our annual picnics and I do believe cares about these issues.
Yeah.
We have one county commissioner that I might trust to actually care, but maybe that's a start for us.
Brian, do city managers also play a part in this, or is it more than the political mayor side of things? You know?
I think the city manager probably has some influence, but it's more the mayors and county commissioners.
Okay.
Well, we can work on that, so
Yeah.
count us in.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
Mark,
and-
I see Linda with her hand up, Mark.
Okay, Linda, go for it.
Yeah, and Bruce, I was going to say, probably in legislative committee, we might want to think about coming up with some talking points, if you will, or questions that should be asked in every town hall or every meeting with everybody who had anything to do with taking this down or not passing it. So pretty much every elected official in the state, and just saying, why did this happen? And just keep pressing. Why did this happen? And I think one of the things we need to come up with is a counter to the, well, because we were told that insurance premiums would go up. Because I feel like, my knee-jerk reaction to that is, yeah, and they're not going to go up now.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they
You
keep
know?
going up the maximum every year, and they use this as an
Yeah.
excuse to say, oh, that they're going to go up. Well, you know what? If you went ahead and passed our bill and got rid of the spread pricing, you would actually save money, and the premiums could go down. So yeah, it's a ridiculous statement that everybody still gets scared off by, and the legislators are concerned about the threat of increasing the price to the consumers. Well, look past the lies and, use your brain.
Yeah.
It's going to save money. Yeah.
Well, and somehow our culture has to catch on to, for whatever reason, it's so easy for middlemen to jump into anything to do with medicine and get in the way and take the largest part of profits for themselves. Insurance companies, PBMs, they're completely unnecessary. So yeah. Any last question for Brian? And
I do. So there is a new bill that's being introduced at the federal level, and I failed to talk about this just because I was focused on the state. But Representative Buddy Carter, who's from Georgia, introduced a bill on PBM reform. Senator Wyden has been fantastic and a big advocate for PBM reform in the past. So things at the federal level, are kind of like here, where you think things are going one way, and then all of a sudden, well, I guess this past year, Elon Musk sent out a tweet and it kind of killed the PBM bill in December. But there's some good momentum at this time to hopefully get some federal PBM reforms done. But I don't know as much of the details about that, just because I focus mostly on the state.
yeah. Okay. And thank you, Brian. This has
Yeah.
been very, very helpful. And I think our legislative committee would really like to stay in touch with you, and please feel free to send us some guidance. We do have a strong legislative committee and some other strong members as well. And we are up for writing letters and showing up at meetings and things. If there's
Right.
something that you think, oh, this needs to happen in the next couple of weeks, let us know.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you for that offer, and I appreciate this opportunity to meet with you guys. And
Well,
Linda, thanks for joining us from Hawaii.
It's okay. I have my umbrella drink off to the side where you can't see it.
Nice.
okay. Well, thank you. And you're welcome to stay. We're going to go on to some committee reports, but if you have other things you need to get to, Brian, feel free to sign off.
Yeah, my daughter got home from a birthday party, so I think I'm going to go check in on her and see how things went. But again, thank you for this opportunity. And if you guys need anything from me, feel free to reach out. Mike and Tom have my contact info, so yeah, happy to work with you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank
you, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You too. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have some committee and officer reports, and we'll call it a night. I don't think we have anyone from the finance committee, but they are busily reworking the letter to go out in the fall, and that's their big project at the moment. And let's hear from Outreach and Communications. I know Fritz is here.
Great, thanks, Mark. So we've been doing some kind of different things lately and soon to be. One of the things we've been doing some redesign on things like banners. We've got some real old signage that we've been updating, just like we updated the t-shirts. And some of that has kind of is leading into the fact that we're going to be starting Friday. We're going to have a display in at the Footwise Shoe Store in downtown Corvallis for the month of August. So I am meeting Carolyn Hines down there on Friday morning, and we're going to put up the big nurse and some of the new signage that we have gotten, and a display of literature that we would encourage people to seek out and read to educate themselves on healthcare, problems in healthcare, those types of things. So that's some exciting stuff. We've had a number of rallies. I know that we had members who showed up at Good Sam in Corvallis to protest some of the stuff that's going on there. I do know that there were a couple of members out in my neck of the woods that were at the protest out here at the Lebanon Hospital, because they're looking at from what I've been told, it's a done deal. There's no arguing we can do, and no encouragement we could do to get them to not remove labor and delivery from Lebanon. So it's quite sad. So other things that are going on, actually, this coming Saturday, there's the National 50501 group that's doing Rage Against the Regime. Now it's interesting because I tried to reach out to the local group or the affiliate group in Corvallis, got nothing back, and I know they were one of the really big rallies back in June. But there is a 50501 going on in Lebanon, and I'm probably going to go there, not table, but what I'll probably do is take stickers and sign up sheets and just kind of canvass the crowd. Also watch for concerning behavior. Just to kind of give Eastland County a plug, I think some of you have heard me talk about, there's a new chapter of Indivisible Eastland Indivisible, where the first meeting that we had was about 80 people. So at the John Lewis rally last week, there was about 150 people that showed up. And unfortunately, it kind of raised the ire of some of the locals who weren't very happy that we were out there exercising our First Amendment rights. And so again, that 50501 rally this coming Saturday. Sounds like I actually, Mike, encountered Esther Kim at Albany Pride on Saturday. She let me know it looks like they're kind of planning on something Labor Day weekend. But we're going to kind of keep our eyes out there for any of those other opportunities, because as I've shared before, when we were tabling at farmers market, we may get 3, 4, 5 people signing up. We're getting 60, 70, 80, 100 people when we do these rallies. So our reach is increasing, so it's really nice. Last thing I just wanted to bring up, I see Amanda's logged into the meeting. I think that's great. Just another plug for the Student Community Council. I'm so looking forward to the school year starting again. And Amanda, you and our wonderful people doing some real good work. I know we've got one of the members of that group who has been Luke, who's been actually doing a lot of volunteering, even at like some local clinics, I believe, and some different things. So it's pretty cool. We've got such a really good group, and Amanda, you're a perfect leader for them. And so we're gonna find more opportunities for them to be on board. Of course, they know about the picnic, and I'll leave that up to Mark to talk about it. So we hope to see them there. But they're also looking at doing some sort of start of the year activity as well. So I'm thrilled that we've got a real good group of younger people that are now involved in this. So That's what I
Great.
got.
Thank you, Fritz. Legislative Committee, Bruce is here, maybe some others.
We didn't meet in July.
Oh, okay. So,
I do have some updates though.
okay, go for it, Bruce.
So, the Oregon Health Policy Board meets, tomorrow, I think it is, and John Santa has a extensive, written comments. He won't have enough time to read his comment, but he has an extensive written comment about the whole HICMO process. And so that's one issue. And also, there's a community newsletter magazine that comes out of Eugene. It's called Lookout. And they've been doing an update story on OMG and the folks that bought them out.
Oh, Optum. Yeah.
Optum, yeah. And so that's has been circulating within HCAO because Lou Siniger from Eugene HCAO has been kind of leading the charge on this. So I'll forward it to the story. I'll forward the link to Mike, and I think it's something that should get posted on our website.
Okay.
I sent a link to John Santa, and he read that story, and he was, very congratulatory about how that story unfolded and compared what's happening to OMG and continues to happen to patients of OMG in Eugene area, and linking that to what's probably going to happen in the Corvallis area, since the Corvallis Clinic is part of Optum now.
Yeah.
And I will say that I think, well, it's probably a rumor, but that Samaritan is going to drop Samaritan Advantage.
I've heard that rumor as well, but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
I
for sure.
heard it from a physician
Ah,
that's currently in practice, and that Samaritan is decreasing payments to physicians by 25%.
wow.
So that's what's happening in our community.
Okay.
And I'll send that link to the article in the Outlook. That's the name of the local newsletter.
Yeah.
I'll send it to Mike and
Simon?
Simon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the indirect source is Mike McAnally, right?
Yeah, well, right. So Alicia has the lead on that, but I talked with her, and Mike McAnulty was working on it with her. But
Wow.
I think she has the lead on it. I don't know how they work that out, but at any rate.
Nice. Thank you, Bruce. Let's see. Committee reports. How about some officer reports? I can't see. Shelley, are you on? Maybe not. Our secretary. I know Karen Nellis couldn't come. Mike, do you have anything you want to report on?
Yes, we're having a meeting in Denver this weekend. And I put the link in the chart. And I mean in the chat. So you look for it there, but I'm going to share it here. Can you see it? No?
Now, yes.
Yep, got it now.
Okay. So there's an organization I work with, these one-payer states, and there's 15 to 20 states across the country that are actively working for their own state-based version of universal health care. On the idea, like Canada did, they went province by province. And so Oregon and Washington are ahead of most. but Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Maine, and quite a few others are actively working on these. So we're getting together to compare notes. And it's stimulated a lot of folks since July 3rd. As you remember, Congress decided to make it much more difficult for everyone to get health care. And a lot of people are pretty upset about that. So we're we're holding this meeting, keynoters, with Abdul El Sayed, who's written a book on the healing politics. Rose Roach is a prominent labor leader, healthcare advocate. And then you can see the others who will be there. T.R. Reid, a journalist, who did the frontline video about 10 years ago, a little more, on sick around the world, and he wrote the book Healing of America. He'll be speaking. There's a Michigan representative, Carrie Reingans, who will be starting something that would be the equivalent of ALEC, which is a national coalition of state legislators fighting for conservative issues. And they've been very effective. And so she's leading a charge for the same kind of coalition to pursue progressive issues. She'll be speaking. So you can take a look at these, see if there's interest, and there's our own Warren George. Speaking on Saturday, how to pay for state-based universal health care. And he said, they're gonna hear some things that they may not like. But he will tell it straight from the hip. And he'll also update the group on Oregon's path to universal health care. So you can come in person if you want to, and I am gonna be there, and Cheryl Stevenson is gonna be there. And
Simon, huh?
Simon may not now.
Okay.
But so you can click on that link and you can attend online. We have about 95 people who've signed up for online.
Wow. All right. I'll just say a couple of things for my report. And as Bruce commented, the fallout at the Corvallis Clinic, much like the clinic in Eugene, is perhaps quiet but steady. The longest standing eye doctor there, my eye doctor, suddenly was disappeared, and no information about what's happened to her, but she's gone. One doctor who was refurbishing medical equipment and giving it to people who couldn't afford it was called on the carpet literally from their home office in Minnesota, I think she said, and was told she after and that, you know, she's not allowed to do that. She said, well, okay, I guess I'm not allowed to do that, But then they fired her because she was not, quote, repentant about having helped poor people. So this is what United Healthcare Optum is really, anyway, where they're headed.